Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Monday night.
Yep.
And it's time for our little movie review thing. Before we get into that though, is it okay? Is everything correct?
Yeah, no. No, not at all.
Of course it's not.
I look up and I said the fan isn't on. Hold on.
Well, the fan hasn't been on the last few times.
I'm gonna burn up.
Well, because earlier today it was kind of cold in here, so I don't usually turn the fan on. I only turn the fan on like after I get out of the shower.
There it goes.
What are you doing?
It took a while. There.
It's fine. I think you just pushed the wrong button. That's probably what
I pushed every button there twice, and on the third time,
It's the one. It's the one on the left. It's the one that I don't know what the fuck the other one does.
All right.
Probably nothing. But yeah. So this is acceptable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into talking about the movie, I would like to extend a very sincere thank you to one of our listeners, Rachel, who gave us an extremely generous super thanks on the Richard Simmons show.
That's right. Give us $100 on the Richard Simmons.
We couldn't believe it. Like Tom, like I woke up in the middle because I fell asleep while we were watching a movie last night, and I didn't see it. And he's like, I think somebody just gave us $100 on one of the videos. I'm like, what? And I was like so tired, so like I went in there and looked at it. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, maybe not. Maybe I didn't see it right. So, but I went in there and looked.
It was on a tablet.
And absolutely someone did. So thank you very much, Rachel, because that was like, I was like, wow, I hope they didn't like mistakenly. Because remember, I remember that happened to Dan Bell one time, like, because he always does live streams on Saturday night, and somebody accidentally sent him $500 when they meant to send him $5, and they were freaking out. Yeah. And he was like trying to figure out how to like give it back to them. Yeah. And like reverse it and stuff. But yeah, it was just like
he had to get paid, and then he sent it back to him.
Yeah. Because you don't get like Google AdSense. It's all put into Google AdSense, like with the ad revenue and everything like that, and you just get it on the 21st. So you have to like wait until
I saw that shit. I said, man, that must that must have been him, man.
Maybe that was actually Richard Simmons.
Yeah, that must have been Richard Simmons.
If it was,
hey
man, what's up?
Yeah.
Well, like I said. I think we, because I just always thought, like I said, the more that I like read about him and stuff, I'm like, wow, he just seems like a really nice man. You know what I mean?
So that's a good reminder. If you're listening to the show recorded, don't forget to give us a super thanks. If you can't ever make it to the live shows, give us a super chat.
Yeah, just saying. But yeah, I was flabbergasted. I thought they had made a mistake or something. That is very, very generous of you. So thank you very much for that. So we don't usually do double well, I guess we did do a double feature because we did Hammer the other day. This is a double feature, but the two movies don't have fuck all to do with each other. We just decided to do these just because we kind of watched them like in quick succession, and I kind of wanted to talk about them both. We actually, over this weekend, we watched the whole Reanimator trilogy again.
Yeah. Good.
But we've already reviewed all of those, so we're going to talk about those. But yeah, we just kind of got into like watching those again. Yeah, just all three of them because they have all three of them on Tubi actually. Yeah, for free. We also wanted to rewatch Necronomicon, but nobody's got it anywhere.
Nobody's got it. There's something wrong with the licensing for that.
It's got to be the one with Jeffrey Combs in it. Yeah. Another weird thing is that when we were watching movies last night, and we didn't review this one because I actually fell asleep. After we watched Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, the movie that came on after that, what was that called? The Phantom Empire?
Phantom Empire, yeah.
Happened to also have Jeffrey Combs in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Does somebody know why? Yeah. It was just really weird.
Yeah, it was right after Reanimator.
Yeah, I think it was like 87 or 88 or something like that. Yeah, it was just like because he looked like real young still.
Yeah, and he said he was from Miskatonic University, which I said, man, he's writing his own fucking.
Yeah, we're gonna have to finish. We're gonna have to finish that. I fell asleep at the end.
It was good. It was funny.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No.
Oh, okay. It also had Ross Hagen in it, who, if you're an MST fan, was in The Side Hackers. Except he's much older in this one. But I did recognize some of the people in it. Yeah. So the first one I want to talk about is Alone in the Dark. Now, there's a lot of movies called that. I think probably the best known one is the one... who's that crazy German that makes those terrible movies based on video games?
No, I don't know.
Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
I think he made one.
People to fights.
Yeah. The guy that wants to beat people up for saying bad things. Well, he probably wants to beat me up now. But it's just like, I'm just a girl, Uwe. Don't you know what I mean? Although he's probably an old man, I can maybe take him. But
I don't think he's ever serious about it anyway.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, it works. It gets headlines, I guess. But I don't know. So I think that there's a video game called Alone in the Dark, and I think he made an adaptation of it, which of course is terrible, like all his movies are. But this movie is nothing to do with that. This movie actually came out in 1982. I heard about it a couple of months back, Like, somebody recommended it on one of those underrated 80s horror movies or whatever sites. And I was like, man, look at that fucking cast. This has Jack Palance, Donald Pleasence, and Martin Landau.
Yeah.
And the dude that played what's-his-face from The Running Man.
Yeah, he played Electro.
Electro.
Yeah.
From
the heavy-set guy.
Dwight Schultz. No. Is that his name? I can't remember.
I don't know. He's just that heavy-set guy who could sing.
Yeah, the big dude that was in The Running Man. Because I was just like, hey, I know that guy.
Man, it makes me want to see that again.
Well, I think it's on Amazon Prime for free.
Bitch, I got that shit on Blu-ray.
We can watch it after the show if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah. Every time I see that fucking movie, man, I get nostalgia for it. And Lil Swole's going back to New York, so I won't be seeing him around. He made a whole nostalgic video. I posted it on Tom Shitty Movies and in my newsfeed on Facebook. And it's got his 15 years here in Florida. It's got him and his New York friends. And in the background's got fucking the soundtrack in the back's got music that was relevant in a time that the video clip came from. It's got a lot of me and Jen in it. It's got Kaylee before she died, and then all those other girls like Jillian and shit that he was hanging out with.
Yeah,
they're all in it. It's a good little clip.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I like relived like 15 years.
Tom was getting all misty-eyed,
flashback,
and nostalgic about it.
Like, damn. Every time I see myself, man, I look fucking young as shit. Had hair and everything.
Well, I mean, you still have hair.
Yeah, I got hair.
You just shave it up. You just shave it up.
Yeah, what's there is not as good as it used to be.
That's all it is. Danny Rowling said, smart thinking on the double feature review. Hopefully more to come. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to get into a thing where it's like, now I feel pressured to like watch 2 movies. But sometimes, you know, if we're not doing anything over the weekend or something, or if it's still early and we watch a movie and it's like, fuck it, let's watch another one. Like, sometimes we'll watch 2 and they're both like worth talking about.
Yeah, so these are B movies, so it doesn't take long to cover them.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they're not like artistic masterpieces
where you have to like kind of go into like write a dissertation about the shit. You know what I mean?
It's just something you can drink and watch these and fucking laugh.
Yeah,
they're pretty good. They're good.
Although I'm gonna say, like, Alone in the Dark, like I said, so this came out in '82. Now it's usually classed as a slasher, which it kind of is. This is really interesting because I don't usually like watch the trailers for movies and stuff like that before I watch them. But for this one, for whatever reason, I'm not really sure where this movie is streaming. I just watched it on YouTube because somebody uploaded it for free on there, like a decent copy. And it just so happened that somebody had uploaded the trailer to you, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll watch the trailer because I was waiting for him to come out of the bathroom or something. And the trailer for this movie makes it look like a completely different fucking movie, which I guess a lot of trailers do that, don't they? Even back then they did it. They do it now too.
What are you talking about now?
Alone in the Dark,
okay.
The Donald Pleasence one.
I didn't see the trailer, I don't think.
Yeah, I think you were in the bathroom. Yeah. Like I said, I was just watching it because I was fucking around. But the trailer for this, like, all the scenes in the trailer are indeed in the movie, but the context for them is completely different. I think they were trying to make it look more like a standard 80s slasher. And this isn't really a slasher. It kind of is.
No, it's not.
But not really.
It's more like something that Carpenter would have made. Almost like Assault on Precinct 13.
Tom was saying this is a lot more like a Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as good as a Carpenter movie, but it's still it's odd. It's just a very odd movie.
If you like Carpenter type stuff, then this is there with it.
Yeah.
Where, you know, there's basically a mental hospital.
It's like called The Haven.
Yeah, it's an insane asylum.
Yeah.
And the people that own it are letting the lunatics run the asylum. They're
well,
like
kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of.
Yeah.
They have trustees and stuff. And a power outage happens, and the crazy people think, one guy thinks he did it, and they have a big riot breaks out, and crazy people get out, and then they run around in a damn gang and create mayhem. And, it's like something out of Carpenter. Or if you've ever seen VFW, which is a Carpenter-like film, it's like that. VFW is much better, but...
Oh, and if you haven't seen VFW, please watch VFW.
Yeah, VFW.
Because it's really good.
Yeah.
Especially if you like Carpenter flicks. It's very Carpenterian.
Right. So this is kind of like a fake Carpenter movie.
Kind of. Like, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's almost kind of like divided into 2 halves. Because, like, the first half... Like, Donald Pleasence plays a dude named Dr. Bane, and he runs this asylum. Now, at first, when I was watching the movie, I thought, now, is he one of the patients and they're just like letting him run the shit? But no, he's an actual doctor. And I discovered on Wikipedia that his character is actually kind of based on a real dude, who was, his big philosophy was one of the ways to treat insanity or treat mental illness was to kind of, I don't know if I'd say encourage it, but I don't know. He had like some unorthodox methods. Let's put it like that. So Donald Pleasence's character is based on that character. So he runs this asylum almost as though he's kind of like fostering their delusions a little bit. Because there's one really funny scene where this lady is coming up and she's telling him that she thinks that her intestines are coming out and strangling her or something like that. And he like totally acts like that's legit and that's real, and how she can stop him from doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's almost like encouraging their delusions, and he thinks that's going to make them get better. And it's like, so most of the people in there are like not, you know, dangerous or anything. So he just kind of lets them run loose. And he's kind of crazy too, and he's just like constantly high. Like he's like smoking pot through the whole thing, like it seemed like. But there is this one kind of higher security floor, which is like the third floor. And these guys are kind of like the dangerous dudes. Like there's like a child molester and, you know, like a murderer and stuff like that. And they are actually locked up, but Donald Pleasence actually just calls them voyagers, you know what I mean? Like rather than crazy people or whatever, psychopaths or whatever. So it so happens that a new doctor comes to this hospital. And for whatever reason, one of the guys on the third floor, who's played by Jack Palance, gets it in his head that the new doctor killed the old one, right? In reality, the old one just moved to another hospital, like got another job. But they get the idea that the new doctor has killed the old one. So they decide, like all the dangerous lunatics, decide that they're going to kill the doctor, that they're going to get out somehow. And then it so happens that there's kind of like a town-wide blackout. And because the psychopaths are behind like this electronically controlled door or whatever, they all get out and start running around in the street. And they specifically target the home of the doctor and like his family, like his wife and his daughter. And I think his sister is also staying there too. Who's like older, and she has like some mental problems too. Like she had a nervous breakdown and she just got out. So there's that whole subplot also. So this was actually directed by a guy named Jack Shoulder, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He also directed Freddy's Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Quote unquote the gay one. He directed that one, Freddy's Revenge. Also directed Wishmaster 2, and a movie called The Hidden, which I think I've seen, but I can't really remember much about it. So this was actually his first movie. His was directorial debut. So this, like I said, it's very John Carpenter. Another interesting thing about this movie is that one of the lunatics that escapes, who's like I think he's like a serial killer or like a rapist or strangler. He's a strangler, right? He's a serial killer. Yeah. He's called the Bleeder because his nose bleeds, like when he attacks women. And you don't see his face like at first because he's like has a weird thing about that. So when they get out and they start looting shit and like picking up weapons and stuff, he puts on a hockey mask, right? Like Jason. Now, there's kind of like a bone of contention about this because this movie came out before Friday the 13th 3, which was the first one that had Jason in the hockey mask, right? But I think this was being shot at around the same time. So a lot of people have been like, well, did one rip off the other one? Or, you know, was it just a weird coincidence that he just happened to put it doesn't look exactly the same as the Jason hockey mask. It's slightly different.
It had a bunch of different hockey masks, and they just picked one.
Yeah, so a lot of people have kind of pointed that out. They're like, wow, that's really weird that like they just came out.
Maybe they were shooting them at roughly the same time, and the
somebody
crew heard about what
maybe.
You know, put a hockey mask. The other movie's doing that. It looks really cool. Yeah, we'll put a hockey mask on. You'll probably know it would become iconic.
I guess not. Yeah, because the first two Friday the 13th movies, like, the first one, obviously, his mom was the killer, yeah. Spoiler alert, and the second one, he had a fucking burlap sack over his head.
Yeah, burlap bag with a hole in it.
Yeah, so he didn't even go, the Phantom Killer of Texarkana, which I thought that was where they got that idea from. Yeah. But yeah, so he didn't get the hockey mask till the third movie. So I think this movie actually came out before the third movie did. So
I loved those movies when I was fucking young, man.
I did too.
1, 2, and 3.
I still like them. I got
them on Blu-ray.
They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to watch.
They're not as gory as I remembered them.
They're really not. It's really, if you watch them now, they're very tame.
Yeah, and they're also not very scary.
No.
When I was a kid, they were fucking scared the shit out of me. I'd be looking out the window at night, hoping that I wouldn't see anybody looking in it. Funny.
Yeah. Yeah, Tammy says, "What? His mom?" LOL. Yeah. Sorry to burst your bubble on that. Ben says, "Have you ever done a show on Postal or Uwe Ball in general?" No, but we probably should. But like I said, he might want to kick our asses then. Yeah.
I've never really seen any of his movies.
I don't think I have either. I've heard about him just tangentially because a lot of people kind of like, give him shit and stuff. But he's kind of, and maybe he's made other movies too. I don't really know. But I feel like he's kind of mostly known for making bad video game adaptation.
Yeah, he came to my attention when people were slamming him over Blood Rain. How bad the movie Blood Rain was. But I've never seen the movie.
How bad could it be?
We got to see it.
Really?
I guess we got to see it.
We'll see. I guess I have like I'm a lot more tolerant of like bad, because like sometimes people say like, oh my god, this movie is like the worst fucking thing ever, and I watch it and I'm just like, it wasn't that bad, you know what I mean? It's just like, it was just mediocre, because it's, I guess because I watched so much MST and I was like, you want to see some fucking bad movies? There's some fucking bad movies on there that were just made like with a fucking, watch Manos, The Hands of Fate, and then get back to me.
Blood Rain, I think, had either Udo Kier in it or the guy. Shit.
Well, now see, that makes me want to watch it because I love it.
Or it had the bald guy. What's his name? He was in that gangster movie.
The bald guy in the gangster.
Yeah, the British gangster movie. The bald guy. He's an older guy. He's bald. Shit.
You're not really helping.
Kind of a foreign name.
You're not narrowing it down all that much.
He played the Pharaoh in fucking one of the story of Joseph, made for TV.
Oh shit! What the fuck is that dude's name? I know who you're talking about. What the fuck is that motherfucker's name?
Rich guy, but I don't know if he is.
What the fuck is that motherfucker?
I forgot that guy's name.
Danny Rowley said, "Is it Ben Kingsley?"
Yeah, Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley. There you go.
Exactly.
I also love Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, I think Blood Rain has Ben Kingsley.
I think you might be right about that, actually.
Yeah, he got it. Ben Kingsley. That's right.
Well, I figured somebody was gonna know.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll watch that movie and review it, because I'm kind of curious. Although I kind of feel like, look, if you're gonna make a movie, it either has to be really good or like great, or it has to be like so shitty that it's like really entertaining. Yeah. Like if it's just in between, it's just gonna fall in the cracks. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like, I think I'll be disappointed if I watch this movie that so many people say, oh my god, it's so terrible, and then I watch it and it's just meh. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want it to be like just fucking outrageously terrible. You gotta get one extreme or the other.
I can't answer it, Jen. I gotta see it. I played the game Blood Rain, and I think Blood Rain 2, I liked them.
Yeah.
For Xbox, the old Xbox, I thought they were great games. And then I'd heard through the grapevine that they made a movie that was terrible, and I didn't bother seeing it.
I kind of feel like until recently, most adaptations they made of video games were pretty terrible.
Yeah, I think he did a bunch of Resident Evil movies, I think, that had, what's her name in it? That girl from...
Wait, did he make the Resident Evil movies? Because those actually... Well, now I've only seen like the first one or two, and those it wasn't... They weren't that bad.
I think he made
bad.
those too.
Although I saw one of the later ones, or part of one of the later ones, and it was pretty sucky.
That had that Eastern European chick in it.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
One from Fifth Element.
Yeah. I can't remember her name either. Right. I'll remember in a second. But I don't even think I watched the whole thing. Like it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't egregiously terrible. I was just kind of like, meh, you know what I mean. Ben says Postal is amazingly good. Is it? Okay. I don't believe you. But I might watch it anyway. Danny Rowling said, Donald Pleasence did a good job in the 1988 Italian Giallo-style film by Ruggero Deodato, Phantom of Death. It's got ninjas in it, too. I've actually heard of that, but I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, because he did a lot of films in Italy. He did some shitty ones, like Puma Man, and he also did pretty good ones, like that Dario Argento movie.
The Jenny, we're talking about Puma Man.
We were just talking about Puma Man yesterday.
It's the only Superman movie where the superhero wears slacks.
Yeah, from J.C.
Yeah, it's like his mom dressed him. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Now I was like, now I kind of want to watch the MST of Puma Man again. They had a fucking field day with that movie. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah, they're saying all kinds of stuff.
I know. Yeah. I'm getting behind.
Yeah, you're getting behind.
Silent Hill is a pretty good movie. Yeah, I agree. I liked Silent Hill. And yes,
might have been it was Silent Hill or Resident Evil. I don't know what it is. I don't remember.
But see, I don't think that German dude made those though, because I think those were actually like pretty decent. Yeah, Ben said he specializes in computer game adaptations. Yeah. Blood Rain, Postal, something about a king. Okay. Something. But yeah.
He said that the girl from Blood Rain, what was her name?
Mila Jovovich.
No, the girl from Blood Rain.
Oh. Where?
Danny Verlin Ghostface said something, I think.
I don't see what you're looking at.
It's gone.
I don't see what you're looking at.
No, right there. Christina Loken. Blood Rain.
Where are you seeing that? I don't see it. Maybe I'm behind.
Chesticles.
She showed her chesticles.
Big, though. Her chesticles. Were they big though?
That's the thing, and we'll get into that when we talk about the next movie.
We show them all day long, and they're not big.
Tom's just like, man.
Mine are bigger.
He's not impressed.
I was like, mine are fucking bigger.
He's not impressed with your small chesticles.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Slasher Friend said in the 90s there was a Nightmare on Elm Street Nintendo game. Yeah, I remember that. And also a Friday the 13th Nintendo game. It makes me laugh that like in the 80s and 90s there was so much like Friday the 13th stuff and Nightmare on Elm Street stuff that was like marketed to kids. I just
there
thought
was
that
like
was
a Friday
hysterical.
the 13th rip-off arcade game called Splatterhouse. I fucking loved it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You played Jason going through a haunted house fighting fucking all kinds of monsters. You could pick up weapons and fight them. You're fighting all these.
You didn't get to kill camp counselors.
You're in hell.
That's a shame.
You're in hell in this fucking haunted house.
They probably have a game like that nowadays, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Tom's not real enthused.
No.
I guess. Maybe when we talk about the next movie, you'll get more enthused because there's boobies in it. But yeah. So Alone in the Dark, I didn't love it. I thought there were some pacing issues, but I like that it was kind of like a slasher, but they did some different shit with it. You know what I'm saying? And it also has like a real good twist, which I'm not going to spoil because I think a lot of people have not seen this, which I actually didn't realize was a twist until later, kind of. Because I don't know. I was paying attention, but maybe not really. So I was just kind of like, oh. I didn't, and also, I'm not sure if I loved the ending. Like, I get what he was trying to say with it. You know what I mean? But the ending was just kind of like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? It was just that kind of thing. Like, I get what he was trying to say. Also, I like that there was a band called The Sick Fucks in this.
Yeah.
Which, they go to this nightclub, and the sister... The first time the sister and what was her character's name? Tony, I think was her name. And she shows up to visit her brother and her sister-in-law, and she is wearing the most 80s outfit that has ever 80s in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the whole full-on like stripes. I think she had leg warmers. I think she had like her hair pulled off in a ponytail to one side with like pink streaks in it.
Purple jacket with orange trim.
It was something else because I was just like, wow, that is peak 80s right there.
Asymmetrical glasses that look like a damn triangle.
Did she have those?
Yeah, I think it was.
I remember that.
Glasses. It was like I think she had those.
I might have had a pair of those when I was really little.
Yeah.
Like that somebody gave to me or something like that. But yeah, so they go to this nightclub, which I think, what is it called? Stumps or something like that, which also has like the most pointy like 80s kind of font imaginable. And you go in there and there's this band and they had... one of them had like a big like paper mache axe, and like then one of them had like a big paper mache machete or something like that, I want to say. And then they were doing a song about like chopping people up or something. I couldn't really understand the lyrics, but yeah. So the super 80s sister, she gets in the mosh pit in the beginning, which was like a pretty, because I even said, I was like, that's a pretty weak sauce mosh pit. I don't think anyone's gonna get her in there. It's just everyone's just kind of jumping around, you know what I mean? But they were trying to show that the sister is like, oh man, she's so crazy. It was that kind of thing. Because I think kind of the point of the movie, and what they were trying to say at the end was that, because I think they even had this in the dialogue too, where they were just saying, oh, the crazy people that are in the asylum, it's just like, oh, it's crazier out there. You know what I mean? So I think they were kind of trying to push that home, which I'm not really sure if they were successful in doing that. But I don't know. Like, if you like weird slashers, I wouldn't call this a slasher outright. Don't go into this expecting a slasher. And if you watch the trailer, the movie is really nothing like that. Like I said, all of the scenes in the trailer are indeed in the movie, but it's not it's not anything like the trailer makes it look. It's trying to look like a standard teen slasher because it focuses on the younger characters. Like, it shows the sex scene between what was that, like the babysitter's name, Binky or whatever her name was, like her and her boyfriend like having sex or something like that. She was like, it literally, that was like the only scene she was in. I think she was only in like 1 or 2 scenes. She wasn't like a big character or anything.
They just used her to sell a movie,
right? So they focused on that kind of stuff, and they didn't focus hardly at all on Donald Pleasence or Martin Landau or Jack Palance, who were kind of more the main characters. Them and like the doctor guy and his wife and their kid, who were like the main characters.
Kind of fading star / has-beens.
I guess
you couldn't get the young horror crowd into a movie to watch those guys. They were sick of them. Those are the dudes you'd see on television.
Yeah, it's like, here's this scene with like this blonde chick that's only in the movie for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, come see the movie.
Like having sex with her boyfriend on the bed and then them getting murdered. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does have slasher-like scenes in there, and probably the second half of it, like you said, is almost kind of like Assault on Precinct 13. It's like a siege kind of thing, because the doctor and his wife and and their daughter. The daughter's an awesome character, by the way. Their little nerdy daughter. Her name's Lila or something. And she's like real funny. She's like real sarcastic.
It's kind of like Assault on Precinct 13 and Halloween had a baby.
Kinda. And they're all kind of like, so they're all holed up in the house, like, while all of these maniacs are like outside, like kind of trying to get in, you know what I mean? So the second half is kind of like that. So don't go into it like thinking it's a slasher, because it's not exactly, but it's interesting. Like, I think they did like some interesting shit with it, and it's really kind of like pretty original for the time. It's just interesting to me how they marketed it. Even the poster kind of looks like a slasher movie. It's just like a leg with somebody carrying an axe or something like that, which, like I said, that does happen in the movie, but it's not.
You could take this movie, remake it, and make a fucking cool ass movie for no money.
You could actually. It's a good concept.
Yeah,
it's a good concept.
Quite executed right.
Yeah,
they didn't have any money. That's part of it.
Like I said, I liked this movie. I didn't love it. It's a great idea. I thought it just had some pacing issues. I think my major issue with it.
I'd take something like this and spice it up and re-edit it and shoot it with the right soundtrack or score, and make it a fake Carpenter flick, kind of like VFW. That's what I would do with it.
Yeah.
If it had a Carpenter type score, it'd have been great.
And I mean, honestly, like I said, if you're going to remake a movie, this one is one that, I don't know if it's totally forgotten or anything like that, because it did get kind of a nice Blu-ray release and everything like a while back. But, people still kind of remember it, but it's still pretty niche. It's still pretty cult. Yeah. So I feel like if you're going to remake something, maybe make something like this. Because, like I said, it's kind of a good idea to, like, think of these, like, 4 lunatics, essentially. And one of them, I mean, Jack Palance's character, he's kind of like the ringleader, sort of. And he's the one whose idea it is. So they all are kind of going to do what he says, you know what I mean? So he just like, and they all bust out like during a blackout. So I think that's kind of like a cool idea. And then there was also some kind of like misdirect, I think, because one of the characters, the guy, like the Electro guy from the Running Man, he was like a child molester, and they did a little bit with that I thought was kind of cleverly
also
done.
known as a PDF file.
A PDF file.
Yeah, we probably
that's one of my favorite.
Keep from getting.
That's one of my favorite euphemisms.
It's
like calling them a PDF file. Yeah. I don't know who came up with that, but that's like really funny that I first heard of that like a long time ago. But yeah, it's a decent flick. I don't know what streaming service it's on. I just watched it on YouTube, but I'm assuming that since I don't know if it was Shout Factory or Arrow that put it out, but somebody put out like a nice Blu-ray of it not too long ago, because I know a lot of people reviewed it probably like a year or two back. So I don't know how long it's going to be up on YouTube. That's what I'm saying, because somebody might be like, "Hey, what's that doing there?" And
well, it's
like
not
take it down.
Fresh looking. It's not HD or anything.
Right. So yeah, it's not like fantastic, but it's decent. It was decent looking. But it might be like streaming elsewhere, I'd imagine. And it's totally worth watching. Like if you're into 80s slashers, but with a different thing going on that are like have a kind of Carpenter kind of vibe to them. It's not fantastic, but I don't know. I really liked it, and it had like some weird imagery. And like I said, fucking Donald Pleasence is. I've seen a couple reviews of this, and they said he's almost like the anti-Dr. Loomis. Yeah. Kind of. Like, because he's still like a psychiatrist, but he's kind of loopy. And he's having fun with the role, it seems like.
He never phones it in. He does.
He never does. Yeah. And that's what
Landau did a good job, too, actually.
Martin Landau is terrifying in this fucking movie. Yeah. I think one of the things, and I can't remember, if you guys remember, and this was like a long time ago, remember Bravo, the channel? Did Bravo's 100 scariest movie moments, and then they did like 100 more scariest movie or something else, something like that. I'm pretty sure that the scene where Martin Landau comes to the doctor's house and says he's got a telegram, like he's got the hat that he took from the postal guy that he ran over, and he like is trying to get the wife to let him in. I'm pretty sure that was on there because when that scene came in the movie, I was like, I have seen this scene before, like multiple times. Yeah. So this must have turned up on some like scariest movie scene list because Martin Landau looks like, holy shit. Like if he turned up at my fucking doorstep looking like that, I'd probably just shoot him on general principle.
Now we called that other guy Electro, the guy who played in Running Man. I don't think that's what his name in Running Man was. I think it was Dynamo.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was Dynamo. Yeah, you're right.
He could shoot electricity. He had a damn dune buggy. He could sing opera.
And he was an opera singer. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it was the same dude because we recognized him.
He plays a fucking frightening character in this.
He is, yeah.
Big-ass baby Huey-like PDF file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's pretty creepy.
Yeah. And
it's pretty creepy.
Gets his hands on a little girl, talks to her. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Let's go up to your room and I'll show you how I can make anything with paper.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, no.
He does kill her.
No,
he didn't kill her. She shows up alive later.
Yeah.
Doesn't she? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they lead you to believe that he killed her.
That's what I mean. They did like a lot of really good, cool shit with that. But like I said, I'm going to say I like Donald Pleasence in this because he's just playing like a completely loopy weirdo. And I was kind of into that. And, but I'm going to say like, I think Martin Landau kind of steals the show. Although Jack Palance is pretty scary in this too. Because he plays like a total psycho also.
Yeah.
But Martin Landau, just like the facial expressions he makes and shit like that is just so fucking creepy.
It's a low budget movie.
So fucking creepy.
But every one of these actors has been in much lower budget movies than this.
Oh yeah, big time.
So this is actually one of the better ones. One of the better low budget movies that these guys have been in.
Yeah.
It's like a Carpenter flick. So it's all right. It's good.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. It
could have been fixed. I'd have put a better score on it. I'd have put fucking. The thing is, it's not a Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
I'd make it sound like a Carpenter movie and edit it to be like a Carpenter movie. It'd be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben says, "Who is the better psychiatrist, Dr. Loomis or Dr. Lecter?" And Tammy said, "At least Dr. Loomis wouldn't eat you." Yeah, that's kind of a point in his favor.
Lecter ate you because you deserved it, though.
He only ate you if you were rude.
Yeah.
The free range.
So what he did is he ate bad guys. See, what was it? Hannibal Rising. That gives his backstory. It's a fucking great movie.
I mean, everybody that gets ate in that probably had it coming.
Yeah, it's great. He's basically a very evil Batman.
Yeah.
Basically is what he is.
That's a good way. He's like a vigilante.
He's like a vigilante.
Yeah.
Hunting down war criminals and eating them because they killed his daughter or his
sister. His baby sister.
Yeah, it is a fucking.
And they ate her.
Yeah, and he is like from a rich fucking aristocratic family up in fucking. They were from Lithuania, I think. Were they? He was a Lithuanian.
Something like that.
And then he was related to some French royalty or not royalty, nobility, and ended up going to his uncle's house when he ran back across the Iron Curtain. And it turned out his uncle had died, but he started living with his widow, with his uncle's widow, who was a Japanese aristocrat. What was her name? Lady Murasaki, I think is what her name was. And she taught him how to fucking run a sword and basically the way of the warrior and shit. Some fucking Musashi, and he became a primitive one-man warrior who ate people who were bad. And it's where he came from, in between the Germans and the Soviet Union fighting in this no man's land where people were starving to death and people were eating each other. He was just a monster,
as they do.
He picked this up as a little kid. So it's great. See Hannibal Rising, And I think it's a French movie, but it's all in English. I think the French made it. It got a bunch of awards, man. It's a period piece, and the fucking all the way down to the motorcycles and the guns and the fucking the clothes that they're wearing. A fucking Russian T-34 shows up. The way the tank shows up, and I looked at it, man. And the detail was superb. It was exactly like a T-34 that you'd see on the Eastern Front. They even had a bicycle strapped to the fucking turret when they did that, because when the tank's parked, you can't drive the tank down and go get a fucking bottle of wine or anything. You had to ride a bicycle. That's what the tank crews were riding bicycles around when the tanks were parked. Which that's, fucking great detail. The shit's strapped to the side of the tank.
Gen X Jason said, I'm down to 1 marijuana cigarette a day, and I saved it today for this show.
Okay.
Aw, thank you very much.
Smoke up.
I appreciate that.
Smoke up.
Oracle said Jack Palance didn't have to work too hard to be scary as fuck. That is absolutely true.
He was creepy.
He was kind of creepy. Although, like I said, Martin Landau is like 100 times creepier.
Jack Palance he didn't look creepy when that styrofoam hit him in the head, though. You know exactly.
Jack Palance was, yeah, I do. Jack Palance was also in some questionable movies. But like I said, hey, actors got to eat too, man. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, they're probably not happy about it either, but they're just kind of like, hey, whatever. It's a paycheck, so you got to show up and do the shit. Yeah, what the fuck was that? Outlaw of Gore.
It was a rock bottom sci-fi.
It was an Italian sci-fi movie based on I think it was a series of comic books.
Yeah.
And he wears this ridiculous hat that on MST they called it his split top butter top hat. And
he's in the fucking he's in the bridge of some spaceship, wasn't it?
No, he was like in his wizard cave or whatever.
Wizard cave,
it's not spaceship. Okay. He goes to like another dimension that's like an old that's like sword and sorcery.
It starts collapsing on him, and fucking the walls are falling in, and dirt and shit. And fucking one of the beams comes and hits him. It's a big old thing of styrofoam. It
very, very
bounces off
Boink.
his head. It's very obviously styrofoam. and he plays it off like it didn't happen. He just stays in character. Through the whole thing.
Like I said, I admire that.
Bounces off his wig.
Or that? No, it was a giant hat he was wearing. Yeah. It's like this ridiculous fucking. It's a ridiculous fucking hat. That was also another good MST episode, Outlaw of Gore. Oh my god! And what is that? All those fucking 80s like sword and sorcery, like sword and sandal movies were like so fucking.
Yeah, they were all Conan ripoffs.
They were so.
Don't
bad.
See any of those. Just see Conan.
Unless you watch the MST versions, those are absolutely worth watching.
The only other Conan ripoff that's watchable is Conan 2, which is a Conan ripoff.
Yeah, well,
it's got Arnold in it and everything, but it's not the same director.
Yeah,
and it's like a Conan ripoff.
Yeah, Oracle said the Gore series was a set of novels written by John Norman. Yeah, that's right. And reportedly, it started out as a moneymaker. Then he started believing his own crap. Yeah, well, that's what happens. You get too much into that.
Okay, let's get to the second.
Oh, wait a minute. A couple more fun facts about Alone in the Dark that I had forgotten about.
All right.
Was that I think this was the first movie produced by the famous New Line Cinema, who later became very known for the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. They actually even called it the house that Freddy built because that was where they made all their money. Also, the director had also been the editor on the 1981 slasher movie The Burning, which also Tom Savini worked on, so there's that as well. Also, the original version for this was supposed to involve the mafia, but it's like they didn't have the budget, so they're like, well, we'll just make it like a home invasion kind of thing. That's cheaper because we can just like shoot it in a house.
Yeah, we don't need the mafia.
But so we don't need like all the mafia and all that kind of like business. So yeah, so that's what that was supposed to be. But yeah, so it's on YouTube still, at least as the day that we're talking. But it's probably like somewhere else too. But it's absolutely worth watching. I thought it was like pretty good. It's weird, but it's like pretty good. So this second movie, so we're scrolling through Amazon Prime last night, or Freevee or whatever it was, and we're looking at the horror movies that are free to watch. And I saw this. I actually watched the trailer for this the other day. I'm like, oh my god, this looks hysterical. We should totally drink and watch this one night. So last night we decided this is the night. I said, do you want to watch Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity? So I showed him the trailer, and he's like, oh my god, we absolutely have to watch that.
Yeah. The trailer was great. The trailer was in a way better than the movie, but the movie was pretty good too.
Yeah.
The trailer is doing a lot of lying about what kind of movie it is.
That's what it seems to be a common theme.
It's just these hot chicks in leather bikinis, or fake leather bikini, not leather, what do you call it? Rawhide bikinis.
Yeah. I think they're supposed to be rabbit skin.
Rabbit skin or something. Fucking they're chained up, and they're just these victims, and fucking this dude is assaulting them, and then it's got a voiceover about how, fucking hot they are and how much they're going to be fucking assaulted and shit. It's
how much assaulting there's going to be.
How much assaulting there's going to be. And then they go, it's a big movie. It's got big fucking this and big that, and then then they show like what was it? Big what was it? Effects or something.
Was it Big Adventure?
No, it's a big scale or something. They're showing like outer space, fucking the ship going through outer space, and they're going, and big girls, and it's got that fucking one chick, she's sitting up and fucking just big old boobs and shit. You can't see them because she's behind a
bed curtain gauze thing. Yeah, sure.
And they're fucking fighting and shit, and they got swords. It looks like barbarian girls, in space. There's robots in it. I go, yeah, I gotta see this one.
I was like, yeah, this looks like fun.
Right, and it starts instantly. They're fucking running through the fucking jungle in the middle of the night, and
with the boing.
She gets captured
with a bikini on.
Yeah, she gets captured. Next thing you know, they're in like the fucking slave pen in the spaceship, and
or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. And they're chained to the one. They break out. There's two hotties in there. And they got very different builds. One's tall and skinny. The other one's kind of shorter and more voluptuous. They look like the perfect heavy metal girlfriends for 1987. They're like heavy metal girls.
They're that real fried blonde hair that that they all had in the 80s. And this was 87 by then this came out.
And they're supposed to be kind of like savages, okay? But they don't even have shoes, okay?
They're hardcore.
Yeah, they just got these fucking buckskin fucking bikinis and shit. Yeah. All right. But strangely enough, they got hair products. They got their hair is fucking perfect. They got
makeup's on.
They're fucking.
I was like, where are they keeping that shit? Like up their ass?
Yeah, little.
Where's that lip gloss, baby?
Little perfect pedicure.
Where's your conditioner?
Little
and your
perfect pedicured feet.
Here, let me get it.
They're running around barefoot, but they got pedicured feet and fucking shit.
I love that.
Yeah, well. Quickly though, they escape from the fucking prison ship. It turns out that it's totally different from the trailer.
Tom's like, I think the trailer was just like the first couple minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
because it goes in like a different direction.
And they made the trailer out of it, and it was very deceptive about what kind of movie it's going to be. Turns out the girls are actually competent. They know how to fly spaceships. I
kind of liked that though.
Yeah, they're pretty heroic. They're brave and shit.
Yeah, they're actually really smart and really resourceful and stuff. So they didn't just they look like bimbos, and they kind of film them like they're bimbos, but they don't act like bimbos.
No. And turns out that they escape like in an escape ship, and they're trying to figure out what planet they should go to run. And they go to some planet, and it sucks them in on a tractor beam basically, and it crashes them. And
then they're like, well,
turns out. They got this hot ass fucking bachelor and this fucking living there with his fucking castle, and he likes to fucking hunt people to death. There's already people there and shit that he's getting ready to hunt, and you realize real quickly that this is a retelling of The Most Dangerous Game. Down to fucking the philosophy and a lot of the.
They have made so many adaptations of The Most Dangerous Game, and most of them weren't even called that.
Right.
Like I saw, they did one on MST that was called Bloodlust. It had the dad from the Brady Bunch in it, like way before the Brady Bunch, because I think it was like late 50s. It was called Bloodlust, but it was very clearly The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah, and it really started to remind me of the Most Dangerous Game episode from the Logan's Run series.
Yeah, it is kind of like that.
But with extra hot girls in it.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah. They had 3 hotties in there. And a dude, he gets killed. And then the guy's got an army of these robots. I like to see chicks take their clothes off. It's a fucking bizarre flick. I liked it.
Here was the thing. Like, so the dude, the oily guy that owns the Most Dangerous Game planet. Yeah. Because apparently he's the only person that lives there. Like, it's his private game preserve or whatever. And he's got like all the paneling and all the heads on the wall. And
he's all slick. He's actually pretty shredded. He's a good looking guy. He kind of looks like that dude.
Kind of looks like that dude.
You know that dude?
He looked real familiar. And then I was like,
Batman.
Oh yeah. He looks like Christian Bale a bit. He looks a little bit like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, because I kept making American Psycho jokes like when I saw him. Also, he looked a little bit like with his slick back hair and his like tight vinyl pants or whatever they were. I said he looked a little bit like Nick Cave in the Mercy Seat video from 1988, except I think Nick Cave was like much better looking and he had like a red shirt on. But it was kind of like it was the same vibe. I was getting that vibe.
And as it goes on, it's actually got some pretty decent matte shots and
this was much better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to just be I mean, it's low budget. It's but trashy.
Trashy, fun.
But it's fun trashy.
Yeah.
And it's competently shot. It's not, like I said, I've seen way fucking worse.
Yeah, and you're going to see these two chicks run around fucking scantily clad, inappropriately for the situation. They're running around constantly in fucking nightgowns that you can see through.
And just bras and panties. For no reason.
For no reason, And they never have shoes. They're fucking barefoot through the whole fucking thing.
Awesome.
And not a single callus on the bottom of their feet. They'll go through that in the woods and shit, fucking being hunted and fucking survive and come back and get back into the castle and kick a motherfucker's ass, and their feet aren't even dirty.
Yep.
Just perfect pedicured fucking feet. And they look like they stepped right out of a damn heavy metal video, like a Whitesnake video or some shit. Or a Motley Crue video.
But the cool thing about this movie is that even though everybody is kind of taking it seriously, they're kind of not at the same time.
It's a fantasy
film. They all look like they're having a good time, shooting the movie.
Yeah.
But not to a point where it's just where they're winking at the audience, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
What I liked about it is it was pretty fast-paced.
I mean, it's pretty short. I think it was only 75 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty fast-paced. They show you a lot of shit. You do laugh at a lot of the shit that they show you. It kind of makes sense. The story is actually very well told. It's very basic, though. It's a very basic story. They're retelling Most Dangerous Game. The girls are cute. The bad guy's hot. So if you're a chick, you get to see that. He fucking sexually fucking sexes them up and shit. So there's kind of a BDSM element in a couple of the... It's like a heavy metal fucking... It's kind of like a heavy metal sword and sorcery interplanetary fantasy, kind of like something out of the magazine Heavy Metal. It's kind of like that.
It kind of reminded me of that.
Kind of like something out of the old Heavy Metal magazine, which has nothing to do with heavy metal music. It was just, it's like something you'd see there, where they're mixing a bunch of genres together, like fantasy and sci-fi. I mean, shit, she even shows up dressed as a gladiator at one point, fucking fire. And what I did like about it is that, yeah, man, there's gratuitous. There isn't a lot of nudity in it, but there's a lot. Yeah,
not like real. Like there's boobies. Like you get to see like straight up titties, but you don't. There's no bush. There's no male nudity. No nothing.
No real sex is shown.
Not really. It's pretty tame.
Yeah, it's very tame. But those girls are running around scantily clad from nice, good angles. They know who the market is.
Yeah.
The audience is teenage boys.
Yeah.
Who like heavy metal, and they got it right. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it made me laugh so much when... Okay, so the two ladies that are in this... Elizabeth Catan, I think is how you pronounce her name. Catan, something like that.
There's actually three of them, but the two main
I know, but the two main characters, two blondes.
Yeah.
I actually recognized her immediately. I'm like, this chick was in lots of movies. I recognized her from Friday the 13th 7. She was in that. Yeah. She was also in Twins. She was also in Nightwish.
Yeah, she's a scream queen.
And she was in Assault of the Killer Bimbos.
Yeah.
Like, among many other things.
Yeah, and she's cute. She's real cute. And she can act enough.
Adequately.
Yeah. Both the girls can.
The acting in this one, like I said, it's not great, but
not bad.
It's fine.
I've seen much worse.
I've seen much worse.
This is kind of like...
And they look like they're having a good time, like I said.
This is 1987's version of an asylum flick. But there's something kind of a little more charming about it, because it's retro now.
I was charmed. I mean, I just like I said, because they seem to know like how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
And they're not winking at the audience, but they're just like, we're just going to have fun with this. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously I'm going to go out in the forest, like hunting for something in like a tiny little white nightie and no shoes.
Yeah, and come back after that and be clean. I'll be still clean, yeah.
And it's just,
One chick went out to seduce the damn robots into the fucking water and didn't go but halfway up her shin in the water. Didn't even get wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, that she told the director, she's like, I'm not getting my hair wet.
I ain't getting in there. Yeah,
I'm not getting in the ocean. There's fucking sharks in there. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid enough for this. Sorry.
Fucking funny, yeah.
And she's out there, and that was funny too, because the other girl who's played by Cindy Beale, she was real funny too. She's like real sarcastic, and we were kind of making. I know this is mean, but we were kind of like making jokes about. Well, I was making jokes because Elizabeth K. Tan obviously has bigger boobs than Cindy Beale did, so I'm not sure if this was this joke, but there was a joke later on in the movie where they had the map to this temple thing that they were supposed to get to because the dude was hunting them. It's a long story. Yeah. So Elizabeth K. Tan's character, what was her fucking name? The other one was Tisa. Daria.
Yeah, Tisa.
Daria was Elizabeth K. Tan's character. So she had the map, and she put it in Tisa's bra.
Yeah.
And then she said, "You need this more than I do."
Yeah, like
and I'm like,
bra.
"Bitch!"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Was that?" I was like, "Did she just tell her that? Was she just making a joke about her being flat?" Because I'm like, one, that's hilarious, but two, that's like kind of mean.
Two, she wasn't totally flat.
She wasn't totally flat. No, she was just flat in comparison to.
Yeah.
So we kind of made a joke because it's. And then when they made that joke, I'm like, oh, they seem to be aware that her boobs aren't as big as. Yeah. And Elizabeth K. Tan's boobs were just like regular size. They weren't like enormous or anything.
They were like B.
Yeah, Tom knows. He's a boobalicious.
Yeah. Tisa's were probably like a small C. And fucking the other one, what was her name?
No, Daria was the one with the short one with the bigger boobs.
Yeah, she's probably like a small C. The other one was like a B. All right. The thing is, they were both fine.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're both fine. The taller, skinnier one, like the B cup chick. What was her name again?
Tisa was her character's name.
Tisa. She's just a different popular body style of that era, which is kind of just taller and aqualine. She's got real nice legs and stuff.
And I kind of liked her better because she was like snarkier.
Yeah. The other one was a little shorter and a little bit more voluptuous, but they still were like I wouldn't say they're not like fashion models, more like pin-up girls, kind of like like penthouse pets. They were about like that.
Yeah.
Which I liked those better. All right.
I think a lot of dudes.
Yeah, guys were more into like penthouse pet type stuff than fucking models. But no, they got it right. And what I really liked about the movie is that the female characters were good. They were good. They were smart. They fucking were heroic, and they won in the end. And they were like, it was male fantasy shit. It was like, they had these teenage guys going, man, I wish I had a girlfriend that was that hot and that badass. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
because the interesting thing, and we were talking about this when we were watching the movie, because this is how we roll.
Yeah.
But because we had watched the trailer beforehand, because it just comes on automatically on Amazon, and the way they made the movie look in the trailer was this is going to be nonstop hot chicks getting sexually assaulted. Pretty much.
Yeah, and they can't do anything about it.
And being chained up.
Yeah.
So it's like that happens in literally the first minute or two of the movie, but they immediately escape. Steal a spaceship and get the fuck off that planet, and then they go to this other planet, and they get hunted, but it's like from the minute they get there, they're constantly like figuring out shit like, how are we gonna get out of here, how are we gonna like get. So I like that they kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a bait and switch, but they were kind of like,
it was definitely a bait
going
and
to like teenage boys. It's like, hey, see hot chicks get raped, but it's just kind of like the movie is not. There is one rape scene in it, but it
Nothing
doesn't
happens in it really.
Not really. Like it doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
And and then she gets rescued.
It gets interrupted. Yeah, the other girl stays there.
Now there is an implied rape. They don't show it.
Yeah.
And this is with Brink Stevens. Brink Stevens is her name, right? Yeah. She's like a very famous scream queen. I recognized her from Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama, but she was in like a bunch of other stuff as well.
Yeah, she's a real hot brunette.
Yeah. So she's in this too. She's on the planet already. Like when they get there, like her and her brother are there.
Even she dies a heroic death. She fucking gives her life to save.
Like sacrifices herself, like to save the other ones, so the other ones can get away. So it's just like I really kind of like that they did that. I like that they kind of like sold it as like an exploitation flick. It's like, hey, just see these women get fucked up. But then like when you see the actual movie, you get to see their boobies and everything like that. And there are scenes like that, but the women are very proactive.
I remember being that age, though, and falling for that.
Right.
For that kind of tactic. And what it is it's pulling on the sympathy strings.
Yeah.
You're seeing these beautiful chicks. They're showing them scantily clad. Something bad happened to them. well, you got to see this, man, because you might be able to fucking help out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We got to stop this. That's what it is. That's what.
No, I have to save you.
Yeah. We're gonna save them. You know, there you go. And that wasn't what it was all. They
save their own damn selves.
Yeah. But that's, you guys can back me up on that.
They know how to fly spaceships. They know how to shoot laser guns.
Yeah.
They know how to beat robots up.
Yeah, they know how to trick robots.
They can do all that shit.
Yeah, what they are is they're basically the female equivalent of cute little Conan chicks that can fly spaceships and shoot ray guns. It's like something out of Heavy Metal magazine.
Which kind of makes sense in the context of the universe of the movie because, I mean, it's implied that when they got taken from their planet or, you know, kidnapped by the robots or whatever, that it's like they lived on a planet, they're just running around in loincloths and bare feet, so that's like they were tough. They lived on this planet. They had to. You know what I mean?
They could instantly fly a spaceship. I don't know how that happens, but they knew exactly, and they could even run the navigational computers and shit, remember?
Yeah.
They knew.
And we were kind of like, well, when that happened, because that happens like in the first couple minutes of the movie.
They can shoot, they can fly this
and I was just like, awesome.
Yeah.
They were just like, fuck this, we're out of here. And it's like, hey, I know how to fly one of these, blah, blah, blah. And then
they knew the names of other planets.
Yeah. Okay. They knew where everything was and shit like that. Yeah.
So I guess they weren't that primitive.
Yeah. So that was like, well, I guess in the universe of this, because there was a lot of that going on in the 80s. I feel like there was this kind of combination of kind of primitive stuff with, like I said, that's why there was that whole sword and sorcery thing where it was just kind of sci-fi, but also, you know, caveman, like sci-fi caveman kind of shit going on. There was a lot of that kind of crossover. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did kind of like that about the whole thing, that they knew what they were doing. I wanted to there's a character in this though, and I can't, maybe I'm thinking about this more than, obviously I'm thinking about this more than the people that made the movie did. But there's a character in this who I wasn't sure if he was a robot or a mutant or whatever. But it's like whenever he turned up, I'm just like, hey, it's, you know, Beefcake the Mighty. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's like the lost member of Guar or whatever. Because he kind of looked like one of the members of Guar from back in the day. And I couldn't figure out what his deal was. Because the bad guy, the hunter guy on the planet, he had some robots that were guards. But then there was this other situation going on with this dude who was kind of like a robot, but then also kind of like a monster. Like I said, who kind of looked like he was in Guar.
Oh, no, not you're talking about. No.
And, okay, so what was the deal with that? Because he seemed to be kind of helping them, but then they were kind of like, fuck that guy. And they, like, killed him anyway?
Yeah, that was that was a rip-off Predator.
Right.
He was like a...
But why was he helping them, though?
I don't think he was.
Oh.
I think he just was kind of shot in a bad way. They were just leaving it... I think he was attacking him. I think, or maybe he was helping him, and they murdered him.
And they were just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's probably a bad guy. Look at him, for Christ's sake. Because I couldn't figure that out, because it's like he seemed to be like taking out the robots, and then they're like, fuck him, and they shot him anyway. And I'm just like, wow, he knew. Harsh.
I think it was because, you know, a Predator was probably out by then. So on the game planet was also an alien Predator.
This was the same year that Predator came out. I think this came out the same year.
Maybe Scuttlebutt got out.
Maybe.
Because he's like a reptile. His jaws go sideways. And he's got high-tech weapons on him. I think it was a rip-off Predator.
I just couldn't figure it out because there's this whole scene at the beginning where there's like a fight. And
I don't think they knew.
Probably not. I said, well, that's what I said while you were gone. I said, I'm probably thinking about this more than like anybody that made this movie did.
No.
They're just kind of like, hey, man.
Because
I think this was a full moon entertainment release. And that was kind of their whole thing, was like doing exploitation movies.
Another thing is that there may have been other scenes that were deleted.
That's true.
And they may have changed it. Maybe he was going to be helping them at first, but then they decided they didn't want to go that route.
They're like, nah.
Yeah, so
because they just blew his ass up. They blew his ass up.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about it. Now,
here's cool weapons.
Yeah.
Shooting fucking
one of the ones at the end, I'm pretty sure it was a leaf blower.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
There's just one time where she's got this sonic gun that she took from the alien, I think. Didn't she get that off the Predator alien? She knew all about it.
Well, they found that temple, and then there was that big, like, coffin-looking thing, and it had all the weapons in it. Yeah.
Which is right out of Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah.
So she got the fucking...
Oh, maybe Aliens versus Predator, like, ripped that off.
So then she gets this leaf blower weapon that shot...
I mean, the end of it looks like a leaf blower.
Yeah, shot some kind of sonic ray, and she reasons along with her friend there, Tisa, well, shit, if I go 360 degrees, the the echoes and everything from the sonic weapon will bounce back, and I'll find out the exit. So she just does it 180 degrees though, and she goes.
Well, they're back to back, so I guess that kind of counts.
No, because she never fucking came around and got her side.
Well, see, I thought the implication was that the weapon that Tisa had was also a sonic weapon.
Oh, okay.
So they were covering 300.
Sonic.
I guess I don't know. They didn't make that super clear.
Yeah, they were 2 different weapons.
You know what I mean.
And then she goes, "It's that way." And I was like, "Okay."
I like at one point too, like they actually set traps for the oily dude that was hunting them.
Yeah.
Zed, his name was, and I thought, because this would have been awesome if they'd done this. I thought that because she made this like spiky thing, and he ran right into it like a dumbass, and I thought it went like right into his dick, and I'd been like, awesome, but no, it was just his thigh. I was like, no, I was kind of disappointed, but oh well. Also, here's a fun fact about this movie. This movie has actually been mentioned on the floors of the Senate. Because back in 1992, good old Jesse Helms, if you remember that old fart.
I remember that guy, yeah, I remember the name.
He mentioned this movie specifically. He was trying to, they were trying to do something, they were trying to do like the Cable Act of 1992, where they were trying to, because they're like, oh my god, this child was scrolling through cable one night and came across this movie and were traumatized for life. And so cable channels should block these kind of movies, like they can't show them anymore and stuff like that. Like it didn't pass, but he was trying to get this movie.
Well, he just wanted to talk about this one because it has a sensational title.
Yeah.
This movie's tame as shit.
It is very tame. I mean, seriously, yeah, there's titties. There's a couple titty shots. There's sex scenes, but they're like you don't really see anything other than boobs. There's a rape scene, but you don't hardly see anything. There's another rape scene, but it's implied, like they don't even show anything.
Yeah,
like they show Brink Stevens like bound to a table like from the side, and she's naked and stuff, and they imply that guy raped her, but they don't show it.
Right.
They do show him to, like kind of raping her toward the end, but he gets interrupted.
It's not even penetration. It's just kind of pawing on her.
Yeah, he's just kind of like he puts her like over a table and is like pawing on her.
Yeah, but then
it's nothing like fucking Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave or anything like that. Jesus Christ. It's not even remotely close to that.
Not even like Death Wish 1.
No.
Not even close.
That's what I mean.
It's very theatrical.
Or shit, like honestly, one of the worst rape scenes ever, other than I Spit on Your Grave, which I can't even hardly watch, like the one from the 70s, was that French film Irreversible. Ugh. God, I had a hard time sitting through that fucking shit. Because it went on a long time. Yeah. Well, the one in I Spit on Your Grave does too. I have a hard time watching that shit in movies. Yeah. But yeah, so it's just kind of like, this was like nothing compared to that. So it's just like really funny that it just kind of shows how fucking sensitive those bitches were back in the 80s. This is so fucking tame.
Jesse Helms probably didn't see this.
I don't.
He just heard.
How would he have seen it?
See this.
Although I kind of feel like those kind of like those old dudes that are like super like upright like that, they're like the biggest fucking freaks, man. They're probably watching all kind of like creep shit. Like
oh hell yeah,
and like jerking into it.
Yeah, and somebody, one of his staff, just put this title down in the fucking speech. Those dudes are fake. They're fake today, and they were fake back then. They're actors. Basically. I
mean, the more you go on about how morally upright you are,
oh yeah, you're dangerous.
The worse you are.
Yes.
The more shit you have to hide.
Yeah, the more you're trying to cover.
Because if you don't have anything to hide, then you'll just kind of let it all hang out.
Well, it's a technique that they're using. It's not for them; it's for the audience.
Yeah,
and they're just trying to. Get
I'm just surprised anybody falls for it. So.
Don't listen to him.
But like, so it's
all of them. Yeah,
it's just funny that like back in the early '90s, he was at least trying to get a fucking law passed that cable couldn't, because some innocent child somewhere might see a tit. Good lord. Oh my god, it's not like half the fucking world's population doesn't have them, for Christ's sake. Well, actually, like technically men have tits too, so you know.
The thing is, though, the movie wasn't about that. That didn't even really stand out.
Not really.
No.
I mean, yeah, there's tits in it, and yeah, there's
flashes of them, but really, what you're mostly seeing is fucking girls in bikinis running around.
Yeah.
Nice legs.
Yeah.
Nice booties.
Yeah, there's not like a lot of like nudity. Like, yeah, you see some tits like every now and then, but yeah, mostly they're just walking around in like skimpy outfits.
Skimpy outfits and cleavage.
Like running around in just skimpy outfits.
Yeah.
Like with their boobs kind of jiggling.
Exactly what a teenage boy want to see.
Right.
They fucking did a good job.
And back in the day, when you couldn't get free porn everywhere. this was the best thing that you had.
This is what you would have seen fucking late night on Cinemax or HBO. You stayed up all night to see this shit. You're fucking 15.
Right.
Not even 15, like 13. You're 13. You're staying up to see this shit. You know what I mean? You see it and you go, oh, yeah, hell yeah, that was great, man. Fucking you telling your buddy, but you see that? Yeah, we saw it. All three of you sitting there drinking right out of a 2-liter of pop and shit. Fucking potato chips and shit. Damn, look at her. Look.
You're fucking 13.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's...
Y'all guys, you guys know.
In a way, it's like, teenagers nowadays, it's like, it's so easy. Like, you can just see whatever the fuck, whatever freaky shit you want to see. It's like, just, it's a click away.
Yeah,
Back then...
I don't think they even care about it anymore.
Well, because it's everywhere.
It's everywhere,
it's ubiquitous. Like, back then, it was harder to get.
Yeah.
So it was just like, ooh, like, it felt like a lot more illicit.
It's a very narrow band of universe we lived in.
Right.
We had a few channels.
Like, back then, you know, it's like nowadays, people are just kind of like, hey, I want to see a woman fucking a goat. Oh, okay. There we go. There it is. Yeah. There's multiple ones of those, you know what I mean? It's just like, so nothing is shocking anymore, really, which... I don't know. I kind of like.
Kind of sad in a way.
Well, I kind of like that though.
Well, we were in a universe of mystery, though.
That's true. There is some allure to that. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think in a way, I think it's kind of healthier, like for people's psyches, just for everything just be hanging out there. Kinda.
Maybe not.
To an extent, I mean, you know, up to a certain.
On your IQ.
Up to a certain point.
Yeah. And also, I think your intelligence has a lot to do with it.
But yeah, so it's just like this movie is just so it's just funny that it caused such a brouhaha back in the fucking late 80s and early 90s because there's like literally nothing to it. It's just kind of like I said, I've seen way worse shit. Actually, I've seen way worse shit that came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, and this was like late 80s. Like some of the movies I saw in the 70s were way more fucked up than this.
Yeah, this was a good spirited movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just fun. It's kind of cute and fun, and it's like, you know.
They were just playing off the Conan.
Sure.
And Star Crash. Remember the movie Star Crash? Yeah. Kind of like Star Crash and Conan.
But that's got your girl in it, Caroline Munro.
Oh, shit, yeah. And then, Star Crash and Conan.
Everybody loves Caroline Munro.
All that shit. They were Star Wars ripoffs, but they just use a tired old story in Most Dangerous Game. Because easy to do. And
came out in the 20s. You don't got to pay anybody any licensing fees.
You don't have to worry about copyright. And most teenagers of that era probably wouldn't know this. Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah, they wouldn't know like that it was based on this.
Boy, that was a great story, boy.
Because I read that story in like junior high. I think. I think it came out in the 20s, 1924. I think that story came out.
Yeah.
But I remember, we read it like in school. But they have made like a zillion movie adaptations of it, and most of them aren't called The Most Dangerous Game because they're trying to like get one over, I guess. But like I said, you can get away with it.
Generic story, generic story that they could tell, that was copyright free.
Yeah.
They renamed it a sensational name to sell it that way to teenage guys.
Well, and it worked on me too because I'm sitting there going, "Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity." We have to watch that.
You gotta see that one. Yeah. They weren't slaves. They were captives. They weren't slaves.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a little bit of a misnomer.
They're misnaming things. Yeah, they were captives and they got away.
And like I said, they were really only in chains for like a minute.
Yeah.
And because Daria immediately, she's like chained to the floor and she's like, "Fuck this, pow!" Yeah. And she just like gets out, and the other chick's like, "Wow, awesome!" Like, and they just like fucking got out, and then they stole a spaceship.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the other planet.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, I just thought that was like pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. The whole, even though like you said, it was kind of a bait and switch.
Yeah.
But in the best possible way.
In the best possible way. Been a trauma film or a fucking or a what's the other one? Fucking Asylum. It would have been that.
Although I kind of feel like Asylum are kind of more known for, well, I guess this is kind of a ripoff because it's a ripoff of a short story. Asylum are more known for, it's like, what's the big blockbuster that's out right now? Let's make something like that with a title that's almost exactly the same.
Yeah. We're going to redo Transformers.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
And they call it like Transmorphers or something. And then like Pacific Rim comes out. Let's make Atlantic Rim. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Which they did. That was on Riff Tracks actually.
And Antarctic Rim.
Right. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
You can't shit on them too hard.
Ass. And then they know that you know that you're watching a ripoff. They'll fucking bag on the fact that you're watching a ripoff. Fucking, those are good flicks, man.
And they always get these actors that were like real big on like fucking shows in the 90s and stuff, and they're like kind of past their prime.
Yeah, but then they'll have some unabashedly hot chicks in there.
Well, yeah, like jiggling boobies. Yeah. So it's kind of the equivalent.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's kind of the equivalent.
Yeah, she's there to be hot. That's it.
Right. We still have the thing. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, she's a physicist, and she's like, wow, with these big titties, like hanging out.
Yeah, fucking double G. Physicist with double G implants.
Not saying there aren't some physicists out there that have double G titties. Yeah. I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah. And she's got a gun and everything.
And she's also a ninja.
Yeah, beautiful ass hair. She's also a ninja. That's right. Fucking is great.
Like I said, if you're gonna go that route, then just pile it on.
That's right.
Make it as ridiculous as possible. It's a lot more fun for everyone involved. The worst thing you can make is a boring movie.
Yeah.
Just, if you can't make it good, just at least don't make it boring. Just make it as fucking ridiculous as possible.
One of my favorite movies was made by Asylum, and it's a masterpiece. Fucking Nazis from the Center of the Earth.
That's a great fucking movie. It is so fun.
And it is accurate.
It's fun.
It's historically accurate.
Well, and we've gone on at great length about one of our favorite bad movies, which is Velocipaster, which was not made by Asylum.
That's good. No.
But they just had a great fucking concept. They had like no money, but they leaned into it, but they were also like real genuine.
Yeah.
And like made it real earnestly, and I think that made it work even better because that was. Oh my god, it's just
talking too much.
Oh, me? I'm talking too much? Oh my god, go fuck yourself, Tom. He tells me I'm talking too much, and he's already been pee this like the second or third time. He's always going to the bathroom. Ben says slave chains from Wish. Yeah, clearly they were. Because it's like, well, the whole setup was the other chick, Tisa, I guess she'd been, I don't think they specified like how long she had been there, but she's just like, oh, I already tried to get out, it's useless or whatever. And like this other chick shows up and she's like, fuck that. And she's like, pa-pow, and she gets out like immediately. And Tisa's like, oh, I guess my upper body strength isn't what I thought it was. You know what I mean? So then they both get out. But yeah. So they're definitely not the greatest, because I'm pretty sure you couldn't just pull the fucking chain apart like that. Unless they were from Wish. Maybe they were plastic. I don't know. Tammy says a girl has to keep all that knowledge somewhere. Sometimes it slips down to the titties. Well, that was kind of one of the... Because we were actually really enjoying this movie, but, you know, I've been an MST fan for so long that I can't help but, like, reflexively, like, make jokes about movies, like, even good ones, like, while I'm watching them. So, which makes me a really annoying person to watch movies with, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I like this movie.
But
out of these two movies, I would give my ratings to this one. I think it's 5 stars in its type, in its genre, which is B movie. I'd take Slave Girls.
And it knows what it is.
Yeah.
And it had like it actually had some lines in it that genuinely like made me laugh.
You were laughing, yeah.
And not like in a wah-wah kind of way, but I'm just like, oh my god, that was genuinely funny.
Now we saw one after this that was better. Maybe we'll talk about that one later.
But I haven't finished it because I fell asleep.
We got a few more minutes. We got to finish it.
That one was called The Phantom Empire.
The Phantom Empire.
That was just
Jeffrey Combs in it.
And Jeffrey Combs was in it. And I fucking love Jeffrey Combs. Yeah. We had a whole Jeffrey Combs marathon over the weekend because, like I said, if you weren't here at the beginning, we actually rewatched all the Reanimator movies over the weekend just because. And every time like we're watching all the Reanimator movies, I'm like, God, I fucking love Jeffrey Combs, man. He's like his facial expressions.
Phantom Empire's a different kind of movie. We might review it later. It's better than Slave Girls from the Edge of Infinity. Is that what it's called? Edge of Infinity?
No, from Beyond Infinity.
From Beyond Infinity.
Beyond Infinity. Okay. I don't even know. That's far away, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Phantom Empire is more kind of like one of those fucking Fortean movies, like fucking At Earth's Core.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of something like that.
One of those British flicks where...
Like we're going in this cave and there's all these like troglodyte type...
Yeah, the people that time
creatures.
Forgot,
yeah, it's kind of more like that.
That kind of stuff.
Kind of more like that.
They go into a cave and come out... They come out in the inner earth, where there's a sky and a fucking sun. And
so kind of like the mole people too. Like the mole people is kind of like that also.
And they got a hot ass alien chick with big old boobs who's molesting Jeffrey Combs, and
Jeffrey's okay
Jeffrey's
with it.
like, oh, well, if you say so. She's got these big old cans and shit, fucking blonde hair.
He's like, hey, it's part of her culture. I'm not going to.
Yeah, Robbie the Robot was in it. They dressed Robbie the Robot.
Yeah, that was totally Robbie the Robot.
Yeah, it changed its head so it looked different, but that was Robbie the Robot. They had to fight that. There's troglodyte people in the cave that are cannibals. There's fucking savage girls that fucking wear fucking rawhide bikinis, just like in this movie. They're in there.
Maybe that's why they recommended this one next. They're like, hey, you like rawhide bikinis? Here's some more.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like those old British movies, but it's American.
Yeah.
It's funny though. This fucking got hilarious. They had the actors themselves are writing some of the dialogue.
Yeah, because some of the lines in this were super funny.
Some
too.
lines super
like
funny.
Genuinely, like super funny.
They didn't have a writer that writing that shit. That was the actors fucking doing that shit. It was fucking funny.
They also seemed like they were
because they were telling them to just ad lib a lot of shit. They were back, it had to have been.
Ben says the smarter a woman is, the bigger her jugs will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the sexier her little glasses will be. Jenny's little glasses will be sexier little glasses. Yeah.
Well, Tammy argues that the knowledge has to go somewhere, and sometimes it goes into the titties.
Yeah.
That's where all my knowledge is, right in here.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Do a titty drop, Jay.
If I ever need some information, I just need to just pull it out like a Kleenex coming out the box. Is that weird? I don't know. Yeah. Tammy said, pissing a lot? Might want to get that prostate checked.
No,
LOL.
Man,
I heard getting pegs can help with that.
Yeah, man.
Aw, Tom.
Yeah, they piss a lot, but not much comes out, man. My shit fucking comes out.
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I drink a lot all day long.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I'm drinking a lot.
Man, just right before the show, we went to fucking Dollar General and he got like a whole bunch of soda.
Sodas and shit, yeah.
I don't really drink soda. I don't like it all that much.
I fucking love soda.
But he'll just like fucking drink all of it. So you just drink all of that because I don't drink any of it.
I like soda and milk. I'll drink milk with ice in it too.
I used to drink milk a lot, but I don't really. I kind of lost the taste for it.
Yeah.
I used to drink it a lot when I was growing up.
Gotta make my protein requirements.
Yeah, I guess so. Ben said, have you seen Dr. Reanimator's dance hit, Move Those Bones? I have not. Joseph says, I like the Jeffrey Combs episode of Masters of Horror. He played Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, that's right.
He went on tour for that.
He did, yeah. Man, we were kind of talking about it last night. It's like, man,
can we find him? Is he on tour? And he probably wouldn't be coming to Florida because they got to go down and come back.
Yeah, a lot of people don't come to Florida. Yeah. I can't really say I blame him, but
yeah,
I would like to see him do like the live shit, or I would like to like meet him at a convention or something. He seems like a cool dude. I like Jeffrey.
I want to have him on the show as a guest.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be fun. We could all get drunk with Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, he drinks on podcasts.
And that's what and so do we. Yeah. So we have something in common.
He's
like
a great guest. He's a great guest. I don't know if he'll come on a show this small.
Probably not.
But yeah, he's a great guest.
But just rewatching all the Reanimator movies over the weekend, I was just kind of like, man, he's like so underappreciated. I feel like I fucking love Jeffrey Combs. He's like fucking, he cracks me up. And all those movies are good. All those movies are good. They didn't make they just made the 3, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, Reanimator, Bride of Reanimator, and Beyond Reanimator.
Yeah.
The last one that was
now
Brian
From Beyond is a very similar.
Yeah, we watched From Beyond
That's
too.
A good one too, yeah.
That had
Dagon's really good, but he's not in it. I'm trying to think what else he's in. Necronomicon, he's in that. He plays H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, he plays H.P. Lovecraft.
They got fucking they
it's an anthology.
It's an anthology. It's good. I liked it. I want to see it again.
It's from the 90s. I think it's from 94, I want to say.
Yeah, that must be in some kind of legal limbo because I think it has...
We couldn't find it anywhere.
I don't think you can find DVDs or Blu-rays of it.
Really weird. It seemed to have like fallen through the cracks. Yeah, we reviewed it like a few years ago. I don't know what's happened to it since then.
I saw it on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
But
we looked last night, but I didn't find
anymore.
it. I mean, I'll look again tomorrow to see, but I couldn't find it last night. I looked.
Couldn't find it free. You couldn't find it to rent.
Yeah, which is kind of a bummer because I remember kind of liking that. But yeah, all right. So it's almost 9 o'clock. So you want to wrap it up?
Yep.
Alrighty. So we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. Hope you guys enjoyed the double feature. For Wednesday's show, we're actually going back to the true crime. We are going to talk about a Korean serial killer, Yoo Young-chul, also known as the Raincoat Killer.
Oh, right.
So we're going to talk about him. So that should be fun. That's what won in the poll. And we haven't done true crime in a while, so that should be pretty fun. So hopefully you guys can make it for that. So have a good rest of your evening. Have a good day tomorrow. And we'll see you again on Wednesday night. Good night.